Jen here, and this is my layout for the pumpkin spice and everything nice hop that's happening today. It is a collaboration of pumpkin spice videos, everything pumpkin spice that you can think of, crafting, and obviously the drinks, probably lots of pumpkin spice drinks. Hopefully there's more lovers than haters, but there might be a few people that sneak in their hate of pumpkin spice too. I don't know. You'll have to watch through all the videos and see. Maybe some pumpkin pie, lots and lots of stuff. I'm taking a little bit of a different twist on it. Obviously, you guys know I do actually love pumpkin spice. I love the fall. I love everything about this. This is my time of the year where I am probably at my happiest. I love all the coziness and the cooler weather and the, autumn decorating and Thanksgiving and Halloween and moving into Christmas. I just love it all. So I have definitely done a lot of layouts documenting my first pumpkin spice of the season and, pumpkin spice this, pumpkin spice that. I love documenting that. It's always at least one page in every December daily as well. So I thought I would just do something a little bit different. Hopefully it's a little different in the whole hop, so it gives you something interesting and new to watch. I am going to document going to the pumpkin patch, which here we don't really have pumpkin patches like we do back home. I think I've shared this story before, but growing up in Ontario, in kind of like farmland country where lots of our vegetables and produce is grown, pumpkins are a big thing and pumpkin patches are a big thing, and they go all out. And when you go to the pumpkin patch, you're like literally in the pumpkin patch picking pumpkins. And there's generally like a whole celebration around it. The one we love to go to, you get your pumpkins, but you also do the haunted houses and all that kind of stuff. So it's a big deal. We love it. Not quite the same here in Alberta. And so the pumpkin patches that we've gone to, we've tried a few of them, but they're a lot of just like either if they've grown the pumpkins themselves, they've already picked them and just kind of set them out in a nice display for you to go and grab. But we've even gone to a few where we know that they've bought their pumpkins at places like Walmart and then they've just set up a display. And so you're buying them from them for extra money, but you could have just got them from Walmart. Anyways, I digress. I don't knock anybody. It's just not the same as back home. It's not the same experience, I guess. So this is our pumpkin patch experience from 2018, and it was kind of fun. The kids had fun. There was a hay ride or a wagon ride involved. So it was a little bit more reminiscent of home, even though the pumpkins didn't actually come from that particular market where we went. But I thought it would be fun to go ahead and document that because obviously I can get in all the pumpkin stuff. I can get as many pumpkins as possible. And so to me, that kind of fulfills the hop. And then I'm also using the prompt for Scraptember for today, which is multi-photos. So I have a ton of photos going into this layout as well. So I'm working in my 2018 October traveler's notebook. I've documented this a whole bunch. So if you're kind of curious about what I did in 2018, there are lots of videos, but essentially I just did a traveler's notebook for every month instead of my pocket page album, which I normally do. I'm obviously not done, as you can see, but that's kind of how I am. Every project I do, everything I start is usually a work in progress, and I'm kind of okay with that, but I would like to see more of these traveler's notebooks done. I think I have up to April or May completely done, and then sort of all the summer ones are mostly done, and then September, October, November are sort of probably halfway done. There's lots of pages in this particular one if you kind of watch me flip through it as I'm trying to get these pages together. But there's still a few to go. So, and if you're curious, I haven't done a flip through of these in a while. So if you'd like to kind of see the updated look of them, let me know down below. I tend to not do flip throughs because if they're kind of long and I don't want to bore you guys. But if you are curious, please leave that in the comments below. I'm more than happy to do the flip through. I just want to make sure that it's something you guys actually want to watch. And it's not just me kind of babbling and talking and boring you guys. Hopefully not boring you guys. So yeah, let me know down below. I'm happy to do a flip through. It probably would take a couple of videos because there's 11. I was going to say there's 12 of these, but the December one, I kind of haven't started. I don't know how I want to do it because I have most of December documented through December daily. So I think I might just take that December daily and turn it into the full month. I usually only do until the 25th. I think I might just make it from the 1st all the way through so that I don't have 2 albums for December, but we'll see. I haven't quite got there yet. But yeah, let me know. And I'm going to stop babbling and I am going to tell you what I'm doing. So because I have so many pictures in or like that I've sort of allocated for this particular layout, you can see where I have some pictures, loose pictures falling out. It's because I was still doing batch printing at this time, and so I printed the entire month of October, and then when I got them, I took them out, I cut them up, I kind of put them into basic chronological order. I don't mind sometimes if the pictures aren't quite in sync, but I do kind of like, especially for October, so that you kind of see the beginning of the month, and then Thanksgiving obviously comes before Halloween. Actually, I shouldn't say obviously because it comes before Halloween for us Canadians. So that may not be obvious to everybody, but yeah. So I do kind of like to have a bit of chronology in my October album. So I kind of take the pictures, I cut them up, and then I go through the traveler's notebook and I just stick them into the pages, and then that way I can kind of see how many photos I have, if I'm going to use up all of the pages in the album, if I might actually have to do something like I'm doing here because I have too many pictures, so I kind of have to get creative and expand the layouts. So that's what I did for this. So I knew that I had a whole bunch of pictures, which meant that I could fulfill the prompt for Scraptember. I have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 photos, and there's 2 that I actually didn't use. So I had 11 photos that could have been used on this layout. So to give myself more space to actually put all of those pictures and still be able to embellish, I added those kind of flip pages. So on the left-hand side, you can see I basically added a whole like extra page that flips out. And then on the right-hand side, I just used the little extra piece. So it's about 2 inches, maybe a little less, maybe like 1.5 inches that kind of sticks out. And all that did was it gave me a little bit of an extra flap so that I could add a little bit of embellishment on the front and the back and kind of get a little pattern in there. And that's a really good idea in your traveler's notebook if you find you're filling up your whole page with pictures, but you still want to add, like I did, you want to add a card, or you have some really cool embellishment that you kind of want to stick, then it almost becomes like a little tab. And I could even have cut the excess paper on the top and the bottom, so it really is just that card that was sort of the tab, but I actually liked the pattern that's on the other side of the paper, and so I thought it kind of balanced a little bit, that you see that same pattern on the left-hand side, And so I brought it in on the right hand side. And basically all I did there was I just took my 12 by 12 paper, I cut off the like 3¼ inches or 3.5 inches from the top so that it was the right height for my traveler's notebook. And then I cut it in half. So each of those pages is 6 inches. And then I scored it at the size of the page, but you don't have to score it that way. If you wanted to score these in half so they were each 3 inches, then you could kind of play with the placement and have a little bit of a bigger tab on each side. Like there's lots of ways that you can do that. I didn't think I needed 2 full pages. I definitely wanted at least 1 full page, so I just used the tab on the other side. But I could have flipped it around and had 2 full pages pop out, and then on that left hand page you saw where the tab was. I'm going to keep calling it a tab because I don't really know what else to call it, but where I used the tab to attach it to my traveler's notebook, then I took another piece of paper and covered it up so you can't really see where the hinge is, and it kind of opens up. But then obviously on the right hand side I didn't need to do that, but you could definitely do that and kind of play with how big your extra piece or your extra page, whatever you want to call it, however you want that to look, you could really play with how big those are. So I'm always just trying to figure out how to make more space in these traveler's notebooks without always doing the same tip-ins and folding my pictures. That is sort of my go-to strategies. I'm always trying to think of ways that are just a little bit different so that when you're flipping through the albums, they're not always exactly the same. But if I rushed over how I did this, please let me know. I know I'm not explaining it very well. I keep calling it a tab. I don't really know how else to call it. So let me know when I can do a slowed down version. Is that what I'm trying to say? Yes. A slower kind of tutorial on what I did. But I think it's pretty self-explanatory. And then that gave me this much larger surface area to put all of my pictures. It also meant that on the outside of the first page, I had a nice place to kind of do a title page. And then on the back of that little tab, you see the pattern of the paper, because I sort of mostly covered it up on that left-hand side with the photos. And so I wanted to just have a bit more of that showing. And then here are all my pumpkins. I went through all of my ephemera. You saw me kind of going through all my stickers and die cuts and wood veneer. I ended up not putting the wood veneer in, even though I pulled out 2 different ones. I just went through everything I had. So there's Simple Stories stickers in there. The different cards that I used, I think that they're Echo Park, but they don't actually have the brand name on them. They're not printed on the back, and they're like printer paper. They're really, really thin. I got them at Joann several years ago, like probably in 2018, that summer, which means that they were probably from before 2018. And it was just like American Crafts bulk paper that you could get. So I can't tell you who did it, but I think that it looks really cool. I love how this turned out. I put lots of little stickers in there to kind of cover up the back of that card. And then all of the pumpkins I used are from different places. Yeah, this was super fun to put together. And I know I chatted through most of it, but I think it's kind of self-explanatory. I plonked down my pictures and then just started finding little places where I could put all of those different stickers and embellishments. And that's it. That is my layout for today. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you found my channel through this hop, hello, welcome. Thank you for joining me. Thank you so much for watching. Please click subscribe if you haven't already. I would love to get my channel to 2,000 subscribers by Christmas. If you have any questions, you can leave them for me down below. And until next time, happy scrapping. Bye.
Bye. Thanks to me. What about the channel?